What should a new Agile leader do in the first couple of weeks after appointment in a particular department or organization? The first thing for me would be to understand the real appetite for change and to understand the problems that people have been dealing with for the last months and years in terms of trying to improve effectiveness of the organization. You'll often find that there's no end to the list of problems that people are having, and you need to understand what's frustrating people. But for that to happen, you need to make sure there's some psychological safety. So actually, the place that I'd be most concerned about would be the people who are reporting into you and what's their appetite for change. Because what I often see is I see a really agile executive come in, but actually the reports probably should have been removed. They're not at the races. They don't want this change. They don't know. They don't want what you want. And they often demonstrate what they call lip service. So they say all the right things. They will agree with everything that you're saying, but in private, they're trying to kill your change. I don't mind the people who are objecting to change. A lot of people say, well, there's no characters, and they're always saying no to whatever the change is. And that is certainly true of some characters. But the people who are most damaging to change are the people who give lip service. And I think you need to do some forensics on the back channels and the politics and what's going on in with your reports. And also understanding as well, do some of your reports actually have more power than you do? That can often happen in a matrix organization. And so I'd be looking at your team about how much appetite there really is there and how sincere the team is and how open the team is. If there's a lot of opaque behavior and if it's almost the opposite of transparency, that would be a big concern for me. So really understanding what the appetite is with the people in your organization, your department, but the first place I would look is your team. I'm not saying you need to get rid of people in your team, but I've often seen leaders who've actually ended up failing because they put up reports who actually were stopping every single thing they were doing. People who were agreeing in public in terms of what was going on, but in private, they were doing everything they could to kill the change that this new leader brought in. So make sure you got the right team. Jim Collins wrote a book called From Good to Great, and the book was being criticized for some of the companies who were not so great in the end. So be careful if you ever write a book about great companies, great people, because history will actually prove whether they're great or not. But I did like the metaphor that Jim Collins used in the book. He said, make sure you got the right people on the bus, make sure you got the right people in the right seats in the bus, and make sure you got the right person driving the bus. So I guess I'm talking about, do you have the right people on the bus and are they in the right seats? Are you playing them to their strengths? You know, are these people, do they have strengths and so on, and are they playing to their strengths actually? And are some people actually maybe capable of doing much more? So check out your reports. That's where I would focus on first.